The Brass City, also known as Waterbury, at one time the brass manufacturing capital of America, was also a leader in buttons.
It started at the War of 1812 when we couldn't get buttons from England anymore, obviously, so Aaron Benedict, who's the gentleman that started the company by melting down the pewter pots and pans and making buttons. That was the start.
And they're still making buttons today. Although the name and ownership has changed throughout the years, quality buttons are still rolling out of this factory, now in Cheshire.
This company was always strong in military buttons. That was our forte. I mean, that's how we started, so we remained very strong in military buttons, which was good because during slow times in those days, the government would always pump up the economy by buying uniforms and doing things of that nature.
In fact, Waterbury Buttons supplied buttons during the Civil War too, to the North and the South. The company continues to make commemorative collectible buttons.
It really is an interesting business. There are button collectors. I don't know where it stands, but it's got to be ahead of barbed wire, you know. I mean, coins and stamps are probably 1 and 2 or 2 and 1, depending on how you look at it.
Today, Waterbury Buttons is one of the 3 companies under the OGS Technologies umbrella. Diversified Eyelet and Northeast Emblem and Badge companies are all housed together, with brass as their common thread.
It starts with the stamping operation. From the stamping operation, it kind of wiggles its way through various operations and quality checks, makes its way through the plating department. Plating will put whatever finish on it. This one happens to be a gold plate. From the gold plate finish, you go back to the operation that I showed you where they polish certain areas of the button. Once it's polished, it's ready for assembly.
Assembling the buttons is still done by individuals. The difference is that rather than an old kick press, workers just need to push a button.
So a lot of people, button's a button, but if you really work with it, me myself, I go buy something not too long. I would say maybe last year I went to buy something, and believe it or not, it had a nice button, but because the button didn't look good, and I know we make buttons, I didn't even buy it.
Nivea Cruz has been with the company for 30 years and often takes her work with her.
When I go on vacation, the first thing I do, once I get comfortable with a person, I look at their buttons. If I go to the store, I just go and look. But if I go, like I went to a cruise, and like the maitre d', I go look at the buttons, and it's fascinating because it's our buttons. Then I want to make sure the quality is there.
And because the quality is always there, Waterbury Buttons has managed to survive in these erratic economic times.
We're expanding our markets into South America also. We're big in Colombia. To the Colombian police and the Colombian Army and Colombian Air Force. They like our quality. They had bought some buttons from China, obviously, and when they looked at our quality, they went to ours. It's still highly competitive, but at least we have a shot at it.
Aside from the military, Waterbury Buttons works primarily with fashion houses like Tommy Hilfiger, Polo Jeans, Ellen Tracy, and Liz Claiborne.
It's unique, it's fun. I tell people, no matter where I go, you see your product. I always use the same analogy. So many people work in an industry, they'll make something, may end up inside here and they never see it again, but what we make, we see almost every day.
You probably see them on television and in the movies too. Their most famous cameo came in Titanic.
I never realized at the time that a lot of these movies, they really want to be authentic, so when they're making police uniforms, they want the actual police buttons that we made, and we made most of them. We have probably more button dies for organizations in the United States than any other company.
There's no buttonholing the product, whether for practicality or fashion, art or history. This company will definitely push your buttons. In Cheshire, reporting for Crossroads Magazine, I'm Stephanie Valickis.